Well, hello everybody, and welcome back to the channel. We're watching some Saturday morning React-TOONS featuring Robotech, specifically episode 23, Reckless. I've been a bit under the weather, my friends, but one thing that'll definitely pull me out of that nosedive is some wonderful Robotech action. And of course, now I guess the biggest storyline for me that is currently existing inside the Robotech universe, Miria is on the hunt inside the SDF-1. She desperately needs to avenge her honor and find the pilot that she believes bested her in the air. Of course, she's identified the craft, the Veritech, but not our blue-haired boy Max. It is only a matter of time. Friends, I can't wait to see how that one pans out, but if you could do me a favor first, hit that like button, smash that subscribe, ring that bell for notifications, and you'll be alerted next time we go live with any Saturday morning React-Toon, Robotech, or anything else. And of course, if you'd like anything we do early or in its full-length format, the link to the Patreon, it's in the description. Don't like Patreon? Stick over here on YouTube memberships. You get everything about a day early, plus any bonus episodes for any of our series. But friends, all that is then, this is now. And now it is time for us to watch some Saturday morning React-Toons featuring Robotech, episode 23, Reckless. Prepare to engage maximum warp reaction, and away we go! Fanfare! That fanfare almost took it out of me. My voice said, wait, what are you doing? Let's pull back a little bit. You've been sick. Reel that in. This show is such a joy. It was really up in the air when I started watching it. I was like, oh, okay, so it's not as cool as I thought it was going to be. Young me had this incredible show and they really wanted to see it, and all the older kids watched it. And I thought, this is good. I enjoy it, but but boy, oh boy, when Roy and Ben, when Roy and Ben did their thing, this show absolutely shot up, and I could see why. And I'm sure that's what it probably was for a lot of the younger audience in North America back whenever I wanted to be able to watch it. I'm sure this show really picked up whenever you were faced with the mortality of your characters. Great stuff.
Eventually, the fighting worked its way inside to the streets of Macross City.
That's because Exeter had an amazing plan.
Eager to capture a souvenir of their military conquest.
Oh, that's right. We stopped in mid-battle. Nice, Rick. Oh boy.
In another part of the city, Chiron's forces have overrun the Civil Defense Patrol's meager resistance.
Chiron at the very front, tip of the spear.
We hope to find Minmay, Commander.
Minmay? I've never heard of it.
What are its ballistic capabilities? She's not a missile, sir. She's a Micronian girl.
So these guys are still full-size Entrati, though. Where did our defectors go?
Want to tell me what you're laughing about?
Oh, I'm sorry, my lord, but I'm so overcome with joy and possibly...
I'm sorry, my lord, but I can't explain what an uplifting experience it is to be with the Micronians.
What? Is this entire, strike force turning?
Well now, my little friend, I'm afraid I must deal with you in the same way as I dealt with your companion.
Oh, he's gonna kill him. Oh my god.
Captain, I think you should see this. The enemy's actions have become totally chaotic.
Well,
the animation is different in this one. Boy, Chiron's in a world of shit if he doesn't have anybody with him.
Minmay? And Kyle?
In a stadium full of dead people who stuck around to listen to her sing. Okay, so she's pushing him away and he's continuing to kiss her?
This is worse than that movie. Minmay, how could you?
Well, but you just saw what I saw.
Beg your pardon, Commander.
You haven't been reporting in. Where are you? Tell me what's going on.
I've gone completely rogue.
Send some rescue people over to the amphitheater.
The amphitheater? Has something happened to them? Have they been hurt?
Well, there's 22,000 dead.
Happened to Kyle? Rick, is Kyle hurt? Lieutenant, open...
Yes. Rick, just turn everything off, bud.
Oh, but Minmay.
Oh, don't do yet again.
What's wrong, Min-May?
It's your bangs.
I figured something like that was going on. I guess I'm not surprised, or even upset.
That was a cool shot. Jesus, Rick. Rick's also a bit suicidal. Or he's pissed. Boy, the animation was better in this one. It would be an amazing moment. It's not bad, but I mean, it's not what we expect. Let's get the hell out of here. It's a cool Min-May doll in the foreground.
That doll is not the only thing we've damaged. Now we must desert if we hope to save ourselves from destruction.
Guys, just...
Our troops willingly deserting? Impossible!
This must be the tremendous force the Robotech masters have been speaking of.
It's too late to go back. For now, all we can do is remove our troops from any immediate influence.
How you gonna do... Okay.
Interrogate them. See if you can determine the nature of this power the Micronians have exerted.
Min-May's name's gonna come up the whole time.
And when we discover the secret of their power, will we then launch a new offensive?
And when?
It's a shame, man. That was a hell of a plan.
Therefore, your orders, Lord Chiron, are to isolate the deserters and lock them up.
Lock them up!
I've got another idea.
Lieutenant Hunter, reporting as ordered.
Oh, wow.
It's pleasant to see you again, Lieutenant.
Yeah, same here. What are you doing on the SDF-1 anyway?
And why are you super small now?
Lieutenant Hunter, each of these aliens has made a decision to remain here.
Huh?
It's true, they have come at great personal risk
What the hell's Max doing in there?
Why me?
because of your earlier contact with the aliens.
Well, I don't know how my opinion will matter, but let me ask them a couple of things.
Oh, sure, just...
We are hoping to live with you Micronians on this ship. You want to live here?
Yes, because all around here there is happiness.
And also because Min-May is here.
Oh, boy.
We had been sent here before by our leaders as spies.
I understand. But that doesn't seem like enough motivation to ask for political asylum.
That you control the protoculture.
What? Protoculture?
Protoculture?
The Street Fighter attacks?
Captain Global, I assume you're not going to let yourself be taken in by this ridiculous business.
Captain Global. Anybody seen my cigarettes?
At least if it were up to me, let him stay. It's a good idea.
Jesus.
Take the first step towards universal peace right now.
Rick is wishy-washy on everything.
I just can't believe what I'm hearing. Lieutenant, why do you accept their request for asylum now?
Because maybe I changed my mind.
Do you know me?
As I mentioned in my original report, the aliens are bred only for war and conquest. It's the only thing they've ever dealt with, up till now. So when they had their first contact with us...
They don't want to fight.
The most beautiful thing of all was Min-May singing, and also that males and females stayed together. Some people even spoke out against fighting.
Once we became used to it, we started to like living here.
I love these guys.
See, my thinking is, they appear to like it so much, it'd be stupid not to let them stay. What harm could it do us?
Oh, I don't know.
First attempt at making peace with the alien forces at some point in the near future, and it might as well be now. Everyone here will probably make history.
If you're cool with these three guys, we've got 30 more outside.
Good Lord, you're talking about living with aliens!
They may look like us, Lieutenant, but don't let them fool you. I'm sure it's a facade.
No, I'm
We're banging desks. We mean serious business.
first experience with a life that can be lived not making war.
Well, there's some nice emotional logic.
He's making good points, dickhead.
What is it?
May I say something on the lieutenant's behalf?
No.
As Lieutenant Hunter said, they can't possibly conceive of life without war.
And that's why we have to refuse them asylum.
Why?
We must make them understand there are other alternatives to war.
That was an excellent speech, Lieutenant Commander, but these are aliens we're dealing with. You can't possibly expect them to adapt to our kind of lifestyle.
How do you know them?
What's the meaning of this? How dare you barge in like that?
It's all right, Colonel. I asked him to come by personally. Are those the results?
Like how everybody just like rips shit when people walk into a room.
I don't know, he didn't tell me.
Is it something important?
I assume so, or he wouldn't have interrupted the meeting.
This is my laundry list.
What is that? What's it say?
They scorched my boxers.
You may find this intriguing. As a matter of fact, I'm sure you will.
Well, they look exactly like humans.
Why, their blood types and genetic structures are virtually identical to ours.
It can't be.
Knew it.
Exactly the same.
So what is it, just the proto-culture that's like making them big and shit? Because that was the explanation before.
I think that we can now view this case as the usual political asylum request.
Now, hold on. I don't think the results of one little lab...
Gloval's in charge here.
I say we grant these gentlemen asylum.
Hey!
Wait a minute. We cannot possibly make a decision as important as this without consulting the United Earth Council.
Fuck them. They sent us out here.
Well, I may have been a little too extreme in my judgments. Won't you excuse us? Come on.
Oh, keep your eye on those guys.
They'll call Earth HQ and try to get your decision overturned.
Maestroff, why don't
Oh.
The fierce fighting from Robotech weaponry has leveled much of the city. Rebuilding the shattered homes and businesses promises to be a long and painful operation.
Wow.
Uncle Max, how come you're leaving the restaurant?
We're looking for Kyle. He went out to find Min-May a while ago and he hasn't been back.
Oh. They're at the hospital, but they're all right.
They're at the hospital, but they're all right.
No, Kyle was the only one who was hurt, and it wasn't much. Min-May just went along to the hospital to look after him and see that he was okay. Don't worry, it was nothing serious.
They needed multiple people to help with his bangs.
We can't both go and leave the place open.
Don't worry about that. We'd be more than happy to take care of the place,
Mm-hmm.
How the hell are you guys still open?
Take care.
Thanks a lot.
I know we got a lot to do, Lisa, but you feel like running a restaurant for a couple hours?
You know what would be good right now? Some nice fresh tea.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go make some.
Huh?
But instead of tea, there's only whiskey, which is what we really mean after a huge battle. Man, you are really hung up on her. I have a question for everybody. And this might be like harken back to whenever you were a kid watching this. Is there supposed to be like a noticeable like attractiveness difference between Min-May and Lisa? Because I'm not seeing it. Like, is Min-May supposed to be like gorgeous?
Here you go.
Because her personality isn't certainly attractive.
But to the Zentratis, who've known nothing but training for war all their lives, our everyday humdrum peaceful existence must seem wonderful and exciting by comparison.
I mean, the absence of war?
Don't be shy. If thinking about Kyle's worrying you, go ahead.
I'll be all right.
I mean, does Kyle even know who the hell she is?
I told you once he looks a lot like a man I used to be in love with. Carl.
Not really. They have similar beliefs. I don't think they look anything alike.
When I realized what he was saying, I found myself questioning the military approach for the first time in my life.
Really?
The thing is, at this moment, Kyle doesn't even know I'm around. What about Min-May? Have you spoken to her? Oh, I'm sorry.
How can that be a surprise question?
I'm sure it's just temporary.
That's what I thought before Kyle took over.
Before Kyle took over.
I don't have a chance with Kyle, but you and Min-May still do.
Oh, Lisa, come on now.
Here I said I wasn't going to talk about this subject anymore, and I kept right on doing it.
Why don't you guys talk? Not about Kyle and Min-May.
Oh, you'd better get yourself back to the base. They might need pilots. I'll be along after I'm through locking up in here.
Okay with me.
What's it going to take to stop all these attacks? Total destruction? Oh, I sound like my father.
Yeah, I bet.
Lieutenant Hunter, are your fighters in position?
We're ready to rock and roll.
Kirkland, get ready to cover them. You'll be coming about on their right flank.
Nice job, Sammy.
Oh, there you are.
Sorry I was delayed. I'll take it.
It's all yours.
Sammy's like, whoo.
I can't believe these guys are stupid enough to come back.
Judging from the information provided by the defectors, these people don't know anything else.
Yep.
Why can't they just go home?
Not much chance of that.
You're probably right.
Go home! Sorry, Commander, it didn't work.
I guess you have to go in there and fight them. Still in all, it was a good try, Lieutenant.
Thanks, Commander.
Now, see, I like banter like that shit. Building a relationship.
Here they come, man. Get ready.
Woo! Let's light them up.
Look out, there's a pod behind you. Max, try to carry out a flanking.
Nice job, Max. Woo!
Lieutenant, our scanners indicate the area is now clear.
Well, we sent them on home.
That's a nice job.
How much longer do you think it'll go on?
I wish I knew. All the enemy knows how to do is fight. Yet somehow we have to find a way to make them stop.
I mean, if they ever use their superior numbers, you guys are in trouble. They can throw this stuff at you literally constantly.
We must find a way to stop these battles now, before we're all destroyed.
Mass broadcast of Minmay.
If I don't go down to Earth to line up some support, we might very well be ordered to send them back. At the least, I might be able to get my father behind us.
I presume you plan to overcome his objections by presenting something compelling to him?
The results of those lab tests are enough.
Yeah.
That should be compelling, don't you think? Well, that's what I'll start with.
That should give pause.
You leave tomorrow.
Yes, sir. I'll begin working on a joint report tonight. I'll have a draft for you in the morning.
Somebody give Sammy some kaopectate. She's gonna need it.
I wonder where Lisa disappeared to. I wanted to ask her out to dinner tomorrow.
Well, I guess this is it. Once I leave this ship, I may never see any of these people again.
Oh, shit,
I wonder what Lisa would say if she knew I was planning to ask her out.
Simple questions.
Cool shot.
Passing under the shadow of ultimate destruction at the hands of a powerful and ruthless enemy.
Good solid ending to it.
Hayes makes a rash decision to return to Earth.
Rash? I think she really thought about it. I don't think it was a rash decision.
As Rick and Max cut a path through the enemy.
Woo!
Stay tuned for Showdown, the next chapter in the continuing drama of Robotech.
Listen, hearing Rick and Max cutting a path through enemy lines, I'm in. All right, everybody, we just got done watching Robotech, episode 23, Reckless, and the only thing left to do is talk about it. All right, everybody, we just got done watching a little Saturday morning React-TOONS featuring Robotech, episode 23, Reckless. Definitely, we've talked about it before, and I don't usually bring up when the animation is, janky, but it was a little off on this one. But again, story was able to come forward. There's a lot that we had to kind of digest in this one. I think the peace movement was definitely the way that this was going to go. The diplomacy, we've talked about it before that, Minmay and the kind of conversion of our three spies is, the first overture for some type of lasting peace. And now that they were able to actually take these lab results that they got from the three Micronian Zentradi and realize how incredibly similar they are to humans, I am of agreement that that's the first step towards peace. I mean, if you can convince both sides that you're virtually the same, when you down to the molecular level, you all are as close as you can be as biological organisms. I would assume that probably the only difference is, and we talked about this, and I believe I have this right, is the Zentradi's use of protoculture to make themselves bigger and things like that. So, there's that aspect of it, but again, they're too close and too similar that has to be the bridge. Okay, first step, everybody. According to science, we are the same virtually. So if you can get both the Earth government and the Zentradi forces, Dolza and all those people to kind of say, okay, well, wait a minute. Why? There has to be a way to work together if we're all the same. Maybe we were the same at one point. Maybe we are an offshoot. Maybe there's been some type of grand design or something like that as for our two cultures. Maybe there's a way to coexist. There has to be a way to coexist. We have to explore it at the very least. If there isn't, war continues. If there is, well, that in and of itself might be a change. I don't think the Zentradi are necessarily against things like diplomacy or against things that are foreign to them outside of combat, conquering, and war. I just don't think that they know too much about them. I think it's been dismissed as just not part of their culture, like completely irrelevant. It's almost like, if there was a culture that didn't believe in dancing or not necessarily, I don't want to say something recreational like that, but, didn't believe in mathematics or didn't believe in something, they had a different way of doing things, that once it's kind of proven that, no, we might do things slightly different. The thing is, we're virtually the same. We can believe the same things. We can do the same things. And that in and of itself is that's half the battle right there, not to quote G.I. Joe, but I mean, if you're able to convince both sides that there's a similarity, then again, peace can be an option. Do I think it's something, could you convince someone like Dolza or Britai? Yes, I think you could. I think you could at least convince them enough to go to the table, go to the diplomacy table. Can you, somebody like Chiron, absolutely not. Chiron is, it's fight to the death. I'll kill my own troops if they betray me. He's just a military, he's a warmonger, and we've known that about Chiron for some time. What I like too is that, with that kind of dissent that we saw from those two other uniformed officers in the meeting, there's obviously elements of the human defense force or human army that is going to not want to have anything to do with peace either. They view these as a threat, they attacked us, blah, blah, blah. And again, it's been my question from the very beginning that I think that diplomacy, again, we wouldn't have had a show, but I think diplomacy literally would have won the day if the Zentradi had, appeared not as an armada, but maybe just, like a mid-sized force and said, hey, listen, I think you guys have something that belongs to us. Maybe our two cultures can work together here. We need it back. What can we do to kind of, we can give you the technology and things like that, but we need the actual ship back. I think that would have absolutely been something that would have been on the table simply because the Earth Defense Forces sent the SDF-1 away. I don't think they expect the SDF-1 to come back. They just want it away from Earth because that protects Earth. So, in just that move alone makes me think that, giving the SDF-1 to them, especially 10 years prior when it was still junk, it could have easily have been something that they would have agreed to. But, we don't want to read too much into this little bite-sized bit that we had. The thing that I do want to get into is I know that this is supposed to be a big hang-up. And again, I always think about the younger audience that they're trying to influence or basically educate with a lot of this kind of like relationship stuff. Rick really loves Min-May, and now Lisa really loves Kyle. And, as a kid, I probably wouldn't have questioned that other than why do these people like each other? What's the end goal here for all of this stuff? But I think that they're really kind of spoon feeding those relationships and taking us through like each step of the relationship, the longing, the jealousy, the blah, 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 to kind of be almost like an instructional video for relationships. Does that make sense? It's like they're trying to hit every, Rick sees Kyle and Min-May kissing, oh my gosh, I'm done with them, but I can't stop thinking about them. And then Lisa, Kyle reminds me of Carl, and, that's a hang up. And it's almost like they're providing little bits and pieces for a younger audience. Like, hey, if you feel this way in the future, just remember Rick did too. I just think it's interesting because this is absolutely geared towards a younger audience. And we're getting, where I'm looking at this saying like, Rick, dude, enough. Cut Min-May out. She is done, which made me ask the question. And again, during the reaction, is Min-May supposed to be like, and maybe this is something that is explained more, because I mean, animation, you can't really tell, is she supposed to be just, just drop dead gorgeous, just, physically beautiful, with the voice and all that stuff, because for me, again, I always think that relationships are built more on personality, do they mesh and things like that? And Min-May's personality is what it is. So I obviously don't, I wouldn't consider her a match for Rick or anything like that. But I'm wondering if like the creatives involved, maybe in the original, Min-May was described as being, this exceptional beauty, that launched 1,000 ships. Because, just with the animation, I mean, are we supposed to, I don't know how to go about that, because it just seems to me that Min-May's like fame and popularity, I don't want to say they're not warranted, but it's just like it's a little inexplicable to me as to why she's just so popular, And normally, I mean, to be as petty as is the human race, normally that defaults to physical appearance. That's the first step. If someone's beautiful, oh, I'm looking at them now, which, I mean, that's not the way I go about things, but normally that's the way our culture goes about things. So I'm just curious, I'm just curious if that's the way that she was supposed to be described, as being just this otherworldly beauty, because I just can't, I'm trying, old me is trying to grasp why Rick is so attached. And, the superficial of the physical, that makes sense to me, that, he's young, he thinks she's beautiful, he can't get over that, and then if he has a more like emotional, relationship with Lisa, where their personalities mesh and, they get along as friends, that to me, that's obvious, dude, Lisa's right here. She's has so much more in common with you. She's interested. She's, you know, let's go in that route. I don't know. I actually find that interesting, not necessarily in the way that it's being presented, but in the way that it was kind of geared and presented for a younger North American crowd. Does that make sense? You know, where it's like, this is what we think you'll need to know. And we're going to give you a relationship 101 primer, you know, complete with love triangles, love quadrangles, all that crazy stuff. But friends, if you can stuck with me this long, then of course you'll be able to hit that like button, smash that subscribe, ringy ding ding that bell for notifications, and anytime we go live with Saturday Morning React Tunes featuring Robotech or anything else, you'll be alerted and can join us. And of course, if you'd like anything we do early or in its full-length format, the link to the Patreon, it's in the description. But friends, all that is then and this is now, and now it is time for us to say goodbye from Robotech, goodbye from the SDF-1 as we pause the war and Chiron grits his teeth at his defectors as we have a pause in the moment of the battle and potentially the start of what could be a bridge to peace. But we'll see, friends. And does that bridge go over the lovely notes of Min-Mei singing and her incredible popularity? Probably. But friends, until next time we meet, Vulcan roll, and I'll see you.